Hey everybody, it's the Dynamite Show. Paul Fontaine, Jeff Hawkins here on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. And for those of you listening on the Fight Game Media free audio feed on Thursday morning, I want to thank you all for supporting the network. And Jeff, an interesting week. Well, half a week, because I couldn't watch the show live, Double or Nothing on Sunday. So I basically went social media dark from the time the pay-per-view started until 2 hours before Dynamite started. And it was interesting because number one, it was peaceful. My life was peaceful, not arguing with people and everything like that. But I don't really have any idea how Double or Nothing was received. I know how I felt about it. I know you did a post show and with Jeremy Feinstein and Garrett Gonzalez, and God bless you. To sit through a 4.5 hour show and then talk about it for another 2 hours, whoever was watching that show, I mean, God bless you. You're the most diehard fan, because I can't imagine.
True story. Half an hour before the buy-in, I'm like, I need to bail on this show.
Oh no. Did you?
But no, I did because I had already given my word, and I'm one of those word is bond kind of people. But I'm just like, I'm not gonna be able to make 4.5 hours of wrestling, an hour and a half to 2 hours of talking about it, and not really.
How long did you guys go?
I think we went an hour and a half. Oh no, we went a little bit less than an hour, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Because he had an interesting way of doing it, and I liked this way.
Okay,
it was
good.
a bunch of questions and stuff, and it wasn't a blow by blow thing.
John's putting over the post game show. I might listen to it then. He says it was the best post show. Brian and Vinny did a half an hour, and Brian said, "I may have to do this on Tuesdays going forward."
Because Brian's kids and stuff like that. He's like, I gotta put my kids to bed. I was like,
I was sitting there
children.
I was watching something else because, again, I have a life and I have other things to do and I have other things I like to watch and everything. And I get my laptop's always open beside me, and so whenever the YouTube notifications come up, and I got a YouTube notification come up at 11:45, and it's like, the Scrum Show is now on the air. I'm like,
yeah, that's about it.
Are you fucking kidding me? They're just getting started now. That's my time, right? So it was 9:45 your time. And I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't volunteer to do this, because I wouldn't have been done till 1:30. And then I got to work in the morning because it's not a holiday here. So
my big issue was my favorite match was the first match of the night, and I had to watch the rest of the pay-per-view.
I thought that was the second best match of the night. So
okay.
Yeah, and I mean,
and that's fair. That's fair. It's
favorite, maybe my favorite. I may have liked it more than the main event, but I thought the main event was a better match.
Right, and my critique of the main event was it didn't get going until about halfway through, and then I'd
agree with that.
Get into it.
I'd agree, but when it got going, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, before I want to talk, I got a lot of thoughts about this pay-per-view, but
okay,
I'm just.
It's your show. We can go wherever. We don't need to talk about Dynamite all the time, but we will.
It's your show too. Well,
it's our show, Mr. Hand.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure Dynamite had anything to do with the pay-per-view anyway. So actually, that's not true. The opening and closing segments did. But there was a story that you've been talking about, and I have no idea what you're talking about. So I want to talk about this first, because my curiosity is killing me. So because I have no idea what you're talking about. You referenced something on Twitter, and I'm like, I've been social media dark. I have no idea what you're talking about. Someone could have died in the last 3 days. I would have no idea, other than Rick Derringer. Rest in peace.
I could go 20 minutes on Rick Derringer too. But no, friend of the Jeff, Sean Ross Sapp. I like Sean and I are good friends.
I like Sean.
So let me. But he had a story about details behind the AEW Double or Nothing main event.
Okay.
And here is verbatim what it says. Hangman Page won the AEW Double or Nothing main event in what many considered a shocker. Fightful Select had reported throughout the last number of weeks that AEW and Tony Khan kept the result of the match solidly under wraps. This included to the performers themselves. While it's been reported that they found out the day of the show, it was indicated to Fightful by those in the know that was actually earlier in the weekend that Hangman Page and Will Ospreay found out. Now here's the line that got me. An interesting element of the story was that Hangman Page actually pushed for Will Ospreay to win, while Will Ospreay pushed for Hangman Page to win. Those that we spoke to said that Tony Khan was even non-committal throughout the process when talent would ask him who won. The feeling backstage was that of quote-unquote shock, as most everyone believed Will Ospreay would end up winning the match. Now, here is where cynical Jeff comes out and goes, this is a brilliant piece of marketing. And it's also cynical and as staged as the women swimming in Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and this is red meat for the tribalists.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is, look at us. They're a rape fest over there at WWE. They're a bunch of meanies with horrible people. We're over here, the hippie artist commune. We're the theater camp over here where everybody has a say and we all share. And look how nice we are as people. Oh, Hangman said, no, I want Will to win this match. And Hangman came in, no, Tony. It would be about ego if I won. I want Will Ospreay to win the match. And I am sitting here going, oh my God.
Okay, and Maria makes a comment. She says, "So what?" Like I think she's being
no.
It's brilliant.
It's
you said that.
I am saying it's brilliant marketing because it's for the Marias and the Fernandos of the world who want to buy in to this kind of nonsense to me.
It's the 2025 version of stuff. It's a 2025 version of a work.
And it's also an absolute shot at CM Punk.
Yes.
In some ways.
Good for them.
Look, Hangman wasn't the problem. It was CM. Yes. Okay, fine. It's one of those things where I've also kind of pushed back because I am fairly consistent. There were shows on this network and Voices of Wrestling and everywhere I worked, they were like, no, we want this pettiness from Tony Khan and AEW going out. And then at the same time, they go, oh man, I can't believe WWE's double booking on the same weekends. And I'm like, you don't get to say when the beatings stop and you can't get the high ground back. That was my whole point. It's one of those things, but I was just like, I read that. I just went, God, he knows his audience, but at the same time, what an absolute load of BS.
So I find it funny because number one, you were on this show last week, right?
Last I checked, yes.
Yeah, and do you recall who we both thought was going to win this tournament?
I believe we both said Hangman.
I believe you're correct. And you also, I think I said, I'm pretty sure Will Ospreay was told right before he went out for this promo that Hangman was winning.
Oh, sure. I think I think all look. Here's the thing about Fightful, and I love Sean Ross Sapp, but I mean, and this isn't just Fightful. This is wrestling news in general.
Yeah.
And I also kind of know a little bit about how the sausage is made and the relationship between Tony Khan and Sean Ross Sapp, which is interesting, and it's not for public consumption, but it's interesting. Nothing gets out in wrestling news unless somebody wants it out in wrestling news. Paul knows where some bodies are buried. I know where some bodies are buried, and we will go to our graves, never revealing where those bodies are buried. But if something is being revealed on a paper service or a newsletter, then there's an agenda behind it, and you got to think who benefits. And yes, AEW benefits from this. As I said, it's a brilliant piece of marketing. Cynical might be the wrong word for me, but let's say cloying, or it is playing upon the emotions that you would think AEW would play upon. That's all I'm saying.
And the thing is, and to be clear, I don't think either one of us are saying that the guys don't actually feel this way.
No,
they may very well. The information may very well be true. I just don't think that. I think that leaking it the way it was done for a reason,
for a narrative purpose,
and it plays into the storyline that they're doing on TV, which I think is brilliant.
Yes.
Like, it's smart. I want the stuff backstage to match up with the stuff on screen, because honestly, most people aren't even going to know about this on screen stuff. And the reason is, hey, thanks, DJ Cass. Hey, by the way, DJ Cass, you need to message me or Jeff on X and let us know what Dynamite you want us to review, DJ Cass, because you've contributed now the whole $25. It's actually 27, but we're going to review a show, and it'll be whichever one you want us to review. So a classic Dynamite, let us know. You can put it in the chat if you want, or think about it and send us a DM, or come back next week and let us know. We'll do a show sometime in June. And we may be missing a show as well, and we'll get into that maybe at the end. But yeah. So and he says, hey, how's it going? 4 months into wrestling referee training, I'm officially making my wrestling referee debut in July. Awesome. I want you replacing Bryce Rensburg yesterday. I'm just
Really?
kidding. I'm just kidding. He's fine. But I wish the best for DJ Cass. He's a good dude. But yeah, like I think that there probably is some truth to that. I mean, and it happens all the time. Like guys advocate for other people to win. Danielson famously was always wanting to lose. The Bucks and Kenny, they wanted to lose like at the beginning, and they got their way, and the company was kind of screwed after a while. We got another super chat here. AEW diehards love calling AEW WWE's competition till they're treated like it, and then they clutch pearls and cry. LOL.
A little bit, yes. I don't disagree with that statement.
Check John LaRocca's ex over the last few days if you want to know what that's all about.
Yes,
he liked Battleground more than he liked Double or Nothing, and the AEW loyalists let him know their feelings about that.
Oh, yeah, I know. Look, there were good things about Battleground, but
I like Battleground.
I don't know if I'd see. It's weird because Battleground for its strengths got out, had a tight ship. It was one of those things where it's like, and yeah, I'm one of those AEW pay-per-views are too long type of people, but I don't think I'd go that far necessarily.
Well, I wouldn't say it was a better show, but I would say I enjoyed it more.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and that's all I would say. And I would say the very best thing on Double or Nothing was better than the very best thing on Battleground, but there was a lot of good stuff on Battleground that was better than a lot of the stuff on the Double or Nothing show. Yeah. So there's good stuff on both shows.
We're calling balls and strikes.
Yeah,
we're good.
But we're an AEW show, so before we get into Dynamite, I want to talk about this pay-per-view.
Okay.
There's a few things. I think we both agree that first match was awesome.
One
of the best women's matches of the year. And I say first match. I did watch the pre-show as well. Both matches were very good.
I thought that tag match over-delivered.
The women's tag?
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
That was a lot of fun. And boy, when we get into this Dynamite.
Yeah.
Oh, your boy Jeff was so happy watching this match for various reasons.
They rematched again. And the 8-man tag was real good as well. Although, to be honest with you, without notes, I can't tell you a single person that was in it. I just remember it was good.
It was AR Fox.
It was good though. It was good.
Yeah.
AR Fox, my buddy. But yeah, the opener for the women's Owen finals was awesome. Mercedes lost the match, but she still won, and because she did not kick out on that one, that last whatever that was, she was supposed to, I think, but the camera.
I don't.
You don't? You think that they did that on purpose?
What, the DDT into the victory roll?
No, that there was a 3 count where neither one of her shoulders went up. Like she was supposed to roll up, but she didn't. It was.
I don't remember. It was.
It was right near the end. It was, and then she rolled her up and got the pin, and like bolted. It was so weird, but it was an awesome match. I really liked it. But like there was some stuff on this show. First of all, what I want to say is
organize your thoughts and go into it.
I have some thoughts. If this show had been the 2 Owen finals, the women's world title match, the tag team title match, and I have a reason that I picked that match, and the Anarchy match. If it had just been those 5, might have been the best pay-per-view of the year and maybe one of the best pay-per-views I ever saw. Is what I would say.
With that. Yes.
Yeah. Everything else in the show was good to great, and also did not need to be on the show.
I also concur with that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that those were even the 5 best matches, but what I would say is that those are the 5 matches that are most relevant to the week-to-week programming in AEW, and they're the ones that should have been on the pay-per-view. And that would include the tag team title match. Because, I mean, literally every week they do like a 15-minute segment building to that tag title match. You know, whether or not you like it, whether or not it was a good match, whatever, that match had to be on the show. God bless Speedball and Okada. Didn't need to be on the show.
This is the match that kind of got my goat a little, because I just thought I think Speedball needed to be a little bit more, for lack of a better term, protected. And I don't think he should have been in this match if he wasn't going to win. And I don't think he should win necessarily, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, he's mad over. He has a great gimmick, doesn't talk a lick because he's French Canadian. And it's one of those things where it's kind of like when they get a new luchador and they put him on week after week after week after week, and then he becomes less special because we've seen him all the time.
Hologram, Commander, Mortos.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of my opinion on the Speedball thing too.
Yeah, and the fact is like it didn't matter because the match happened. Okada won. Fast forward to Dynamite. Bailey's on the show. He's in a kick-ass opener. Where's Okada? He's probably back in Japan because he cashed his check for the week. He's done. We'll see him in a couple weeks. Right? So it didn't matter. We had that freaking Daniel Garcia and Nigel against FTR match.
I actually liked this because it felt like an old school wrestling type match. My issue with this match was the finish, because Daddy Magic promised he was bringing a crowbar and he never brought a crowbar. And I thought this needed some sort of somebody needed to turn in this match, and nobody turned. And that was my problem.
And also, like, it didn't need to happen, or at the very least, it didn't need to be on the show. That could have been a Collision main event.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been better, honestly.
The six man could have been.
Yeah, you could have had Stokely and Magic on either side and done a 6-man.
Well, no. I meant the Callis family versus.
That one. Fuck that. That had no business being on the show at all. At all. Like, what? I mean, you know, and I heard
F-bomb. I'm awesome right now.
Oh, Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher are awesome. They need to be on the show. Yes, they're awesome. No, they don't need to be on the show. They don't. You don't have to have every single person on every single show. You just don't. You know, you know, like, that's it. Like, I went out for dinner tonight. There was like 6 awesome main courses that I really liked when I was looking at the menu. You know, I couldn't have them all. I picked one. I didn't not get my money's worth because I didn't get all 6. I paid my $50. I got my main course. I got my drink. I got my salad. I got what I needed to get. I didn't need pizza, ribs, chicken, salad, pasta.
You live in Western time zone, so it's even easier for us, but it's like one of those things where it's just like, man, I think Cyclops is better than Wolverine. Has a great point. If you're on the East Coast, man.
Jason said they had to set up the title match tonight, Paul. Hey, guess what? You could have done the match last week and then had a title match this week. Not everything has to be on the pay-per-view.
Okay, get through your thoughts and let's get to Dynamite.
All right. Okay, the other I got to talk about this Anarchy match.
Okay.
So I started listening to the Brian and Vinny show, and Brian just thought it was the best and loved it and blah blah blah. That's all he said that at the beginning, but I didn't actually hear the review. There were parts of this match that I absolutely loved. There are parts of this match where I was so frustrated, and then by the end of it, I was like, I have no idea why they even did this match. The build made no sense. The finish, I'm not sure the finish makes any sense other than the fact that it's just going to lead to another match that's going to be like this because they do it every year. I don't know why. No idea why Gabe Kidd had anything to do with this at all. I'm fully
Hook coming out randomly and Taz absolutely no selling it.
Hook's out randomly, no sells it. Apparently, there's some sort of tension between him and Joe because Joe was happy and Hook just basically flipped them off and left.
Yeah,
didn't stick around for the end.
Remember, they replaced him in the 6-man.
Yeah, so he's gonna be jealous, and I mean that actually makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in the context of this match because he comes out when the numbers were fair. He briefly takes out Claudio, but then just leaves. Then Gabe Kidd comes out. Now the man advantages for the heels, and the fans are chanting Eddie. Everyone's expecting Eddie Kingston. We didn't get Eddie Kingston. Instead, we got Mark freaking Briscoe coming out of an ambulance You remember? I'm old enough to remember when a guy lost a stretcher match. That means he's going to be out for a while. No.
Yes,
No.
old man Hawkins. I remember that.
No, he's out and he interferes in the main event and he's in the opener tonight. Meanwhile, Ricochet is the one who's not wrestling and he's trying to put together a crew. Oh, I wonder who that's going to be. Yeah, I had so many issues with, and then the women, they were only there so that Tony could say the women were in it. They didn't have to be in the match. They could have just done what Gabe Kidd did. Like, I'm sorry, but I didn't, and then they had the whole thing where Willow's ear was stapled to the ring post or something. And then like Moxley DDT's Willow. She's just like right back up like 30 seconds later.
I thought that'd be a heat spot. I thought for sure there's the no.
Now I did pop for her taking off the jacket she was wearing and she had the big black and Jack shirt on. That was cool. I like that. Hobbs looked great. Like the match was like the stuff that they did in the match was awesome. It made no sense. Oh, and then the freaking music.
I like the fife and drum. I don't care what anybody says.
You asked last week, what's the worst song they could do? And the first two were worse than anything we came up with.
No, Pointer Sisters got paid. I'm happy for them.
I swear to God, when that
I was hoping to do the Neutron dance personally.
Oh God, I'm so excited.
And then the bodies, which is just to me, I associate that with the other company.
That's the problem. Yeah, that is the issue, and that's immediately what I thought of. I thought of the invasion.
I've thought of another problem with this match since you've been talking, and it leads into tonight's Dynamite, in which we had the Death Riders locked up in an ambulance.
Yeah,
but Will Ospreay tells me we only have one shot at this.
And so what that means that if Hangman doesn't win, like Jon Moxley just gets to keep the belt forever?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So the belt won't be defended at Forbidden Door.
Because anarchy in the arena means nothing, apparently.
Well, no, and they're going to do a blood and guts, and I assume it's going to involve Hangman, Swerve, Ospreay, and probably Kenny against the Death Riders, and maybe you're going to throw Willow and Marina in there too. Probably that's going to be your 5-on-5, and the women will be last, I assume. Because who knows? No, at some point you're gonna have women against men. So, yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I don't really. What am I gonna say about Ricochet and Mark Briscoe? Whatever, it was fine.
I love that match. I thought that over delivered too.
It did, but again, it didn't need to be on a pay-per-view. Like or if they had another pay-per-view, it could have been on that one. You know what I mean? Like we don't need. If you have 10 matches,
here's why I'm forgiving of it is because Mark Briscoe never gets to be on the main card of a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I heard that. Somebody said it might have been his first one.
It was.
Okay. Well, you know what? Then fine. You know what? 6 is fine. If you wanted to add that match, that's cool too. And it had a stip, although they could have done a better job building the stip. Other than it was Tony's favorite match growing up, and Sabu just died. Like that was the build.
And also they misdid the stip because they turned it into an ambulance match instead of the stretcher match, but okay.
Well, yeah, like I didn't quite understand that. Like that is halfway through the match, I'm wondering, wait a minute, what's the difference between this and an ambulance match? And
okay, ambulance match, you loaded it into the ambulance. Stretcher match, you just have to push the stretcher up to the top of the ramp, I think.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's how I remembered it. Because when they first went to the thing and there was an ambulance right in, or there was a stretcher right in the ambulance, and I think it was Briscoe threw Ricochet on there, and I'm like, well, this is dumb. Why would they ever use the one by the ring? When there's one right there. And then at some point, this got me. Okay, there was one dumb thing in that match where Ricochet was getting beat up over by the ambulance, and Mark Briscoe chased him all the way back to the ring so he could do a J Driller in the ring. And then he carries him all the way back to the ambulance. It's like, why didn't you just do the J drill on the floor when you were there? To me, that would have made sense. But
the word of the day is load management. No,
yeah, no, but that's pedantic. That's wrestling, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, my final thoughts on Double or Nothing is that I would say that I have never disliked as Dislike's not the right word. I've never enjoyed a show less where there was more stuff on it that I really liked.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like, again, if this had been 2 shows, like, like back-to-back weeks or something, or even back-to-back nights, I probably would have liked both of them a lot more than I liked this one show in one, like back-to-back to back-to-back to back-to-back. That's it.
Your feeling is not foreign, because when I was calling it the Jam Band Federation, where matches would go on longer than they needed to, and it felt like it was one of those things. Yeah, I had that same issue. It's like everybody here is loving all this stuff, and it's, I don't mind it. I just feel like every match could be shortened by 5 minutes or so.
Okay, and actually that was the one other thought I had, and thanks for reminding me, because I made the comment on Twitter that 10 matches isn't the problem. The problem is giving 10 matches all 15 to 20 minutes or even more. And you can have 10 matches on a show. Like, remember the WrestleManias back in the day that were like 15? But some of them were like 3-4 minute matches. I mean, I'd argue that those matches didn't need to be on a WrestleMania, but if you're going to put them on a WrestleMania, they don't need 15 minutes. And that's the same thing I would say here. So, but the problem is Tony wants his guys to have that much time because he feels they deserve it and he wants a banger and everything. And that's just it. So if you want to be a fan of AEW, then you just have to know that you're going to have these 10 match, 4.5 hour shows, and you're going to like it, or you're not, and you're going to stop watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Fernando admits a lot of matches.
Yeah, but Fernando likes it too. So it's one of those things where it's like it's for him. I mean, I'm good
and you
with
know
that.
what? I might have liked it better if I hadn't had to watch. I didn't have to watch. I chose to watch.
You know what it's like? It's like when I first watched, I think it's Starrcade 85 or 84. I can't remember what it was, but it's like the first time I saw it, I absolutely adored the entire show. And then as you got older, you realize, my God, every single one of these matches has blood and guts in it just to start off, and it shouldn't be. Once you figure out how to kind of critique wrestling and you're watching it, you're just like, oh, this is excessiveness is what this is right here. But, it still had great matches on it.
What was the date last week? Last May 21st, right? That was the last time we were together for a show. Yeah. Okay, so since last week's Dynamite, I watched New Japan show on Thursday.
I did not
Best
watch
of
that.
Super Juniors. Then I watched WWE Evolve. Then I watched AEW Collision, which was on Thursday. Then I watched TNA Impact.
Did not watch that.
Then I watched Ring of Honor on YouTube, which I canceled my Honor Club subscription, which was smart because they keep putting the shows for free on YouTube. Then I watched WWE SmackDown.
Yeah.
Then I watched TNA Under Siege.
Nope.
Then I watched Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yes.
Then I watched the AEW Double or Nothing pre-show.
Yes.
Then I watched the Friday New Japan Best of the Super Junior show.
Okay.
Then I watched WWE Main Event. Then I watched WWE NXT Battleground.
I watched that later.
Then I watched another New Japan Best of Super Junior show from Sunday.
Okay.
Then I watched NXT last night.
Saw that.
Yeah. Then I watched Double or Nothing.
My girl JC.
I watched
all
of that since last Wednesday. So,
yeah, but Paul, you didn't watch like
I know I didn't watch Star
Lucha on Friday. You didn't watch Arena
CMLL.
Mexico, so you're not a real fan.
I'm fed pilled.
For the Voices of Wrestling Discord.
Yeah, but no. So if I hadn't have watched all that stuff, maybe I would have enjoyed the show a little bit more.
That's true. Let's get
all right. So I don't think we even need to spend too much time on the show. But there's some talking points. We started out with Excalibur welcoming Taz and Ian. So Ian was on commentary again this week, and they introduced Hangman. He's winner of the Owen, and that was awesome.
We said on the post show, and I think we may have said last week, if Hangman wins this, he needs to come out. And this was my exact words on the post show from Double or Nothing. Hangman needs to come out and cut the promo of his life.
Did he?
For him, maybe.
I thought last week.
What was it? Was it a fantastic promo? I got some issues with it, but we'll get into it. Now you may recap, sir.
Yeah, well, I'll just say, like, I wasn't overwhelmed by it, but it was all right. So what I thought
it was the oddest shift of momentum on a promo I think I've ever watched.
Yeah, like, so and he started out, he was all like humble and like just almost like melodramatic.
He was emo is what he was. Yeah. It's like, oh, and almost nihilistic. And that was the weird thing to me was, oh man, victory is fleeting, but so is defeat. Like,
yeah. And you know, one of us
had to happy you won the damn thing, dummy.
One of us had to win, one of us had to lose, and luckily it was me and all that. So and then he's like, you know, and I didn't know whether or not Ospreay could be the one to carry the company, but he can. You know, he's putting over Ospreay, which is good. And then he hands the title over to Shivani and he says, you know, like, I don't get to keep this. So we have a tournament every year, somebody wins. They get the belt, and then
I love that he thinks he's not going to be in the Owen next year.
Well, yeah, or he's not going to win it. And so he turns it off, and then now he said, "I'm done looking back. I'm looking forward." And then
this got good.
Yeah, it kicked in.
Okay, we're both on the same page on this. Okay,
absolutely. Yeah, cool. He says when he came into AEW, he promised, you know, that he was going to win this, and the title's been locked away in a briefcase for 7 months. There's a dude at ringside that had just the most planted signs I've ever seen. Now, maybe he made them, but they sure look planted. He had a countdown of the number of days till All In. He had the AEW title been missing in action since, you know, whatever date it was, October 12th to 2024, I think. And so he says, like, the title's been locked away, and it's not a shining light to show the world what the words AEW meant. And this is where a little bit of bullshit. Like, you know, it's like the human dignity we all strive to treat each other is what it's all about.
Yeah. And then it's got into what the F are you talking about right now? No, this is about wins and losses. This isn't about your artistic expression.
Now I get he's trying to rally the troops, and that's fine. But the disconnect here is, it's like they're trying to save AEW, or they're trying to save the belt. And the thing is, and like Moxley's whole mission is about saving AEW. So I know
his thing is saving wrestling, not AEW. It's wrestling in general. Yeah. And I mean, we'll get into this a little later in this whole tete because I don't want to stop your momentum, because Swerve's part in all this was freaking awesome.
Lady B has a quick point here. If Hanger's going to pace during his entire promo, the production needs to find a better flow of camera angles. Felt chaotic visually. Yeah, it's kind of like a Mox promo that way.
Yes, and also Hangman can't start promos neutral.
No,
that's it. That's the other thing. I mean, I've given this note before in terms of acting. Pick an emotion and follow through with that emotion. See where it takes you. And if it takes you to a different emotion, once you're really getting into it, that's fine. But don't start neutral, and don't start with exposition. He is bad at that. But
he closed the promo brilliant.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, because he said, I make a promise. And his delivery here was just awesome. Like, I make a promise to you people, in 7 weeks, right here in Texas, I'll win the AEW title and free it from that briefcase, and I'll defend it with every fiber of my being, and that's a promise that I will keep.
Now, stop right there. Imagine if he had started the promo with that.
Yeah.
And where it would have gone. And that's my thing, is too many people are trying to build, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Hit it first and then go with it, man. And that's what I wanted out of him. But then we get this awesome piece of business right here.
So Swerve comes out, and he comes out, no Nana.
No nonsense and no Nana.
Nope.
Yeah.
And they face off, and he says, I'm going to let you know why. You wonder why I'm here? I'm going to show you why I'm here. And he points to the screen. They air a clip from like 2 months ago, and it's the Young Bucks right after Dynasty, and they say, everyone's asking why we did what we did, why we cost Swerve the title. We did it for you, Hanger. And then they go on and to explain why. And the whole time this is going on, Swerve is staring a hole through Hangman.
Yes, I loved that. He never lost.
Never took his eyes off him.
No, so good.
And Hangman wasn't looking at Swerve, he was looking at the screen because he was pissed off at the Bucks for putting him in this shit, but he's also not going to give Swerve the satisfaction.
Right.
Yeah. So this was great. And so, they do all that. Then Strickland says, a few months ago, I had the same opportunity that you've got now. And he said, I hadn't dealt with these Bucks since Blood and Guts last year, a match that you were in. And he said, I call collusion. You promised me before that match that you were never going to let me become the AEW World Champion again. So don't you lie to me. Were you responsible for that? And Page looks at him and they stare for a bit. And he says, listen, dumbass.
Now, see, I had a problem with this.
I like
when I first watched it. I was just like, don't be insulting. Just be. You are the top baby face right now.
Yeah.
Be a baby face. Don't be a jerk. And this came off as him being a jerk.
A little bit.
Swerve. And I get, they have personal issues with it. I get that. But this is the new, improved, confident Hangman. All he has to do is go, no.
Yeah.
And
but he didn't.
It's better. Yeah.
He didn't. He didn't say no, which is key, actually. He says, I locked my eyes on you. And then I looked at John Moxley. And for 1 second, I was thinking about helping you. And then I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. And he says, if I wanted to cost you the match, I'd have done it to your face. You know that's true because I've done it before. And Strickland says, I still think you're full of shit. Not bleep, by the way. Later on, when someone said that word,
no, the crowd was bleeped leading into this, and then Swerve gets the main event swear word. So cool for that.
Yeah, they paid for that, and then they're staring each other down. They look like they're going to come to blows, and then Will Ospreay's music hits,
and then this batshit crazy thing.
Oh my god,
I hated this.
Okay, we're on the same page
because we have this great little tete-a-tete going.
Yep.
And Will Ospreay comes out, and okay, the first part of this was fine, hey, both you guys beat me, and then you helped me up, and it raised my hand. But then,
you know what?
Then it becomes, and he's the one to help save the company. No, this is turning into corporate fealty now. And guys, we only have one chance to save the clubhouse, and we need to put on a show for everybody. No.
And Hangman and Swerve don't give two shits.
Swerve won last night in Anarchy in the Arena. What? They defeated the same people that they need to defeat now. Why does this company need saving?
This is what Lady B just said. Like, this is the whole problem with Will's promo.
And we do this every year around Blood and Guts time. Team AEW versus Team EVP. It's like, no.
Now it's Team AEW versus Team AEW because Moxley's trying to save them too.
Yes, everybody's trying to save the company from some outside force called WWE that doesn't exist in this world.
You know who Will reminded me of here? And I know you watch this show, so I think you'll get it, and you may even agree. He was Javon Evans. Getting in between Trick Williams and Obafemi. Like, you got the two alpha dogs, and then you got this little pissant who lost to both of them. And Will shouldn't be that. Like, you guys had a whole segment that got a lot of traction on that show. That actually spoiled the result of the main event for me, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I got a notification about it. It's not your fault. It's Garrett's. Because it said, when will it be Will Ospreay's time? And I'm like, okay, I guess he lost the main event. Because I didn't know any of the results when I watched the show today, like, because I'd been staying off. So you know what, Fernando, you're right. WWE did the same thing when the babyfaces band together to take down Roman and the Bloodline. Not once did they ever say they were trying to save WWE.
Right.
They were trying to end Roman because Roman was a tyrant that was out of control. If this would have been about ending Moxley, we wouldn't have this conversation.
Look, right? The super heel stable is something that is time in memoriam. You had the Horsemen, the Dangerous Alliance. When you settle these things with War Games, it wasn't about saving the company from these heels. It was, these guys are jerks.
There's one guy. There's one guy that's talked about we need to remove Moxley. And you know who that is? It's a freaking heel, MJF.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
the only guy that says Dictator Mox. He's been saying this all along. Dictator John. We need to get him out of here. These guys don't care about getting rid of Moxley. They just want to save the belt.
And save the company, because
Yeah.
it's the Jeff Jarrett, when you get the title, you
Yeah.
get stroke thing.
Yes,
And it's
kind of, but it's the
ridiculous.
babyface version of that.
Yeah, it's the
So, yeah.
babyface version of it. But Will's whole promo is, yeah, guys, you guys have all been beating me.
Yeah. Now let's work together.
Now let's work together to
yeah.
save the company.
It kind of reminded me of, for some reason, maybe it's just the way I'm talking right now, but you remember that, you'll remember this, the George Carlin comedy bit where he compares baseball to football.
Baseball to football. In baseball, you go home.
Yeah.
Football, you're on a gridiron. Yes.
Baseball is the American pastime. Football, we go to war.
Yes.
Yeah. The Vikings and the Raiders.
But I was like, this is, I mean, I'm
The
really into the swerve. I'm really
and
into
the
the swerve
Sox.
part of it. I'm really into the swerve part of
Yeah.
it. He cuts to that video. I go, man, that's really great right there.
Yep.
And then Ospreay comes out with this meta commentary thing, and I just go, oh my God.
But you know what? You know what I will say about the Ospreay meta stuff? Again, and we talked about this. I think we talked about it before the show. Yeah, I think it was before the show. He's playing to the base because that base loves this shit. And you know what?
I hope he turns heel. I hope it turns out to all be a fraud.
Oh my God, that would be brilliant. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be brilliant.
Well, hold on. I love this comment by Cyclops. Why does AEW always need to be saved? Exactly. Why is it so weak in storyline? Why is this company always like? Here's the part that drives me nuts about the discourse online and stuff like that is on television. AEW is the weakest company in terms of management and decision making and corruption in there, and then we start talking about the business, and everybody's like, no, it has a giant TV deal.
But you know what? It is where the best wrestle.
Thanks, Bill Watts.
I thought it was Tony Khan. They showed highlights of Anarchy in the arena, and then the Death Riders pulled up in a truck. Claudio was driving. Gabe Kidd was with them, and they made their way to the ring. And we got our party match of the night. John Moxley, Gabe Kidd, and Marina Shafir versus Mark Briscoe, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Willow Nightingale. And they went through 2 commercial breaks. It was exactly what you would expect. It was a continuation of the Anarchy in the Arena match. I don't think there's any rules. Claudio and Wheeler were like interfering left, right, and center. At some point, Commander showed up and just randomly
diving on people. All right, Commander, you go ahead.
Well, at least he dove on someone that wasn't in the match, so that worked. And I guess he's wrestling Claudio on Saturday in this international title championship tournament qualifier, whatever. It's three matches. The winners go into a 4-way. That's it. Like that's all it is. They made this convoluted bracket and everything, and it's like I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, wait a minute, does Kenny Omega have a bye? And then I'm like, wait a second, it's a 4-way. Kenny's already in it. Oh, I get it. The other 3 just win a match and they're in. Like that's all it is. It's not a tournament. But whatever. It's
my joke about this match was that Death Rider Mox would like to have a word with whatever that selling Moxley was doing with the goofy stuff, Mox.
Yeah, it was a little bit of goofy selling. Gabe Kidd was doing his very best Stone Cold Steve Austin 1997.
Yes,
and he's real good at it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And it's been 27 years, so a lot of people probably haven't even seen it. So, so it was good. The women got involved. Mox, I think he DDT'd Willow at one point. Willow speared everybody at another point, including the dudes. They kept cutting back to Chris Statlander, who was watching from backstage and very upset she wasn't in the match, I guess. I don't know. That was weird. And
it's a story that will never end. This Willow
Mike Bailey
took a
couple really nasty suplexes where he landed on his head.
Yes.
Okay. One of them was from Marina. And and so this just kept going on. And eventually Moxley choked out Briscoe At the same time, Gabe Kidd had a camel clutch on Mike Bailey, and Shafir had Mother's Milk, which I love the name of the finisher. Is because she takes the person close to her chest and just squeezes the life out of them. It's a great finisher, and they won. So Briscoe loses again. So that was that. It was a lot of fun, and it was an awesome match. I mean, I think I gave it. I will say this: I liked it better than Anarchy in the Arena, even though like I'm sure some people thought Anarchy in the Arena was better. There was so much stuff with that Anarchy match that drove me nuts. I would say I like this one better. That's all. That's me. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
On your rundown here, where is the Ricochet promo?
I believe it is coming up next. No, not quite next, but we'll get into this. But no, it's coming.
Well, give me the order that you have here in terms of.
The reason I say this is because they told us that right after this that next up we're gonna have a no DQ match with the women, and then they come back and it's a in-ring promo. So whatever.
Right.
But yeah. Anyways, no, it's we had a backstage promo with Megan and Penelope, and then the Ricochet promo.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and also a Hurt Syndicate promo.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Never mind. This is kind of the preamble, but yes. Okay.
Okay. Anything else to add on this match, or should I move on?
No, move on.
Okay. So we got just a interview with the Hurt Syndicate, and it was basically MJF talking, and MVP too. 5th successful title defense. MJF's a full member of the Hurt Syndicate. MJF put over Lashley and Benjamin, said the titles aren't going anywhere. We're all going to be strapped in gold. Time for me to get my Triple B back. And when it comes to the Syndicate, it's not personal. It's just business. So they have to get Hurt and business into the promo without saying Hurt business.
That's fine. I'm liking this.
Yeah, it's good. I love MJF in this group, and I love them as heels. So I have no complaints here. 3.5 out of 5, no notes. And 3.5 out of 5 is good. Could have been better. And then we got just a short promo from Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford promoting the new match for tonight. Yeah, it was fun. They didn't say much, but
I like this Penelope Megan team. I do. They're
a couple killer blondes. There's the name for you, killer blondes, platinum blondes. How's that? No, all right.
Nah.
Move on. Okay, then we got the Ricochet promo. So he told everyone that after Double or Nothing, I'm going to continue my quest for gold. But then I looked around and I see the Death Riders, I see the Ops, I see the Don Callis family, and I realized I need a crew. He says, I need some loyal subjects on my quest for gold. Once I find the perfect crew, I'll show everyone why Ricochet is out of this world. I think he might have said crew 2 or 3 more times. You know what? I'm honestly, I can't imagine. Like, do you have any idea who he might be? Like, is he gonna? You know what? Premier Athlete.
Private Party.
Private Party is a possibility.
Sure.
Top Flight.
The
Yeah.
half of Bear Country that's still employed, kind of.
What's Mordo's doing? Oh, he could maybe pair up with LFI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. The crew.
The Outrunners. The
crew. No, the crew. Leo Rush and Action Andretti and
what? No.
Yeah, and Ricochet. What a team that is.
Enjoy losing for your crew, Action Andretti.
You know what? I honestly think that's a great idia.
Throw AR Fox into that group too while we're at it.
Yeah, I mean, they can do matches now, and they can do like 6-mans, and but I will say, when I was watching that stretcher match or the ambulance match on the pay-per-view, it occurred to me, and people, especially AEW lawyers, are going to hate this analogy, but I think you'll agree with it maybe. He is to AEW what The Miz is to WWE. He's in that spot. I'm not comparing the wrestling. Obviously, Ricochet is a much better wrestler, but they're that mid-level heel that could beat anybody, but really their job is to be a joke, and everybody treats them like a joke, but they get wins anyways because they're who they are.
Yeah, it's not the worst analogy in the world.
Okay, there you go. The Bob Holly of the Job Squad, Ricochet. Well, no, he'll be the king of this crew. He'll be King Ricochet with his crew. There you go. His loyal subjects.
Oh, jeez.
This shit writes itself. It's awesome. Then we got the match that Excalibur promised us was coming, and this, I believe, you said was your match of the night. Maybe your match of the year.
Let me mention this right now.
Okay,
we are about to enter into 45 minutes of the greatest wrestling on American television this year, and I am not being hyperbolic about it. Between this and the Ops 6-man,
that's not 45 minutes.
I don't know how long.
15,
I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, no, this match, but then also the Ops 6-man.
Yeah, Ops was like 2 minutes.
It doesn't matter.
You mean the whole 45 minute of television?
The television block.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I think there was also like a promo in here I really liked too, or something.
There might have been. Yeah, there was actually. There was. Actually,
yes.
Yeah,
this might be my match of the year right now. And look, you guys can have your 5-star classics.
I gave it 4.
And I like my big meaty men slapping meat too. But we got the return of one of the greatest things in AEW. And I have mentioned this before. The hot chick hardcore division. And my God, did I have so much fun watching these 4 women literally fighting for their lives. This match, I won't say this match was great by any means, but it felt real. Like they were struggling.
I was pretty damn good, Jeff.
I loved this match. Yeah. I had so much fun watching this match. Harley and Anna are absolute troopers and getting destroyed here.
Broken.
Both had their faces absolutely broken. Megan Bayne's getting hit with all sorts of crap. I adore Penelope Ford. Is just by the end of it, she's just, and this is working too. But in storyline of this match, she is exhausted and giving up and doesn't want to climb this turnbuckle at all. And Megan just puts her on top. I had more fun watching this match, I think, than almost anything I've watched this year.
When they were going back up the ramp after the match, Megan Bayne was almost carrying Penelope.
Yes,
she had this look in her face, like, "What the hell was that? And what have I done with my life?" Like it was like, but not like I don't think she wanted to quit. I don't think she had any idea what she had gotten herself into. Or what had just happened.
This is one of those matches where the sloppiness adds to the match, and I adored it.
Harley Cameron.
I don't want this every week.
Harley Cameron got her head pounded into the ring steps. She comes up. She's bleeding everywhere. The refs are trying to stop it. She's like, no. They let her go. She gets back in the ring. She has no idea where the hell she is, and she just keeps going. Penelope
Ford, or was it Penelope or Megan that drops Anna on this chair, and she forgets to cover her head, and she just bam right in there. So she's a bloody mess.
Yeah, and they just keep going, and they had a match, and they were going to do this match, and there were chairs, and there were tables, and there were this, and there was that, and there were. And this, like, and
Megan's just throwing people around. She's a giant tan goddess out there, but like
she was
Vader.
She was taking bumps too.
Oh, she was get killed with some of these bumps, and it was great.
They went through a break, and I didn't watch the in break stuff, but I imagine it was just as good.
Twice, it was phenomenal. They were going through tables. Yeah. Chad Gable had a week, but these
Anna Jay. And this was right after Harley got her nose busted open. Anna Jay hits this gory special on Penelope Ford. I thought for sure it was the pin because Harley Cameron had just gotten her nose broken, and you thought, okay, they got to end this.
They're gonna go home.
Yeah, and she hit her, and then Megan Bayne flies out of nowhere to break this up. She barely broke it up, but it doesn't matter. Then she hits Fate's Descent on a chair. Then she goes for the pin, and then Harley shows up from out of nowhere, from the dead, almost literally. Yes. She breaks it up, and then the doctors were looking at Anna Jay now. And
the doctors are trying to stop this, and the women are saying, "Hell no, we're going through with this." I'm like, "Yes."
So Megan Bayne picks up Harley, and Penelope Ford climbs to the top rope, and she hits the gosh darn worst.
Oh,
Doomsday
oh,
device
oh,
you've
no.
ever
You're not even giving this justice. Penelope is crawling on her hands and knees, and Megan goes up to the top,
Yeah.
and Penelope gives this look like, hell no. I am tired, woman.
Yeah.
I have been through the fight of my life. And so she's struggling to get up there. And Megan just comes up, lifts her up, puts her on the top turnbuckle. And
she
howled.
falls. She falls
Yes.
into a doomsday device, like Okada
Yes.
doing an elbow drop.
Yes.
And they get the win. And that was something else. And I'm here for the rematch.
This is me ruining the curve on the Voices of Wrestling top 100 of the year, because this is gonna be my number one.
Really? Okay.
I think so. I think look, we are only halfway through, and there might be some 5-star classic that you all enjoy.
Did
that
you
can
see
talk
Gabe
me
Kidd
into
and Kenny
saying this.
Omega? I mean, really?
No, I didn't.
Kid,
No, I
you
didn't.
got to watch that. It's pretty awesome.
Doesn't matter. This match, this 10-10, no notes.
Okay.
It was art. This match
right.
was art, and I loved it.
Well, my former partner on this show, when he did his, I think it was 2021 match of the year. His match of the year was,
Was it that Anna Jay Tay Mello versus Bunny and
no
Penelope
it
Ford?
was, and this is match of the year, not women's match of the year, match of the year.
Right.
Serena Deeb and Riho from the Double or Nothing pre-show in 2021.
That was a good match.
It was a good match. It was not the match of the year. I mean, it was, God bless you, Parker Klein. I hope you're doing well. That was something else. So, but if you want to vote for this for match of the year, hey, it's your vote.
Continue, please.
All right. So we did get, it wasn't really a promo segment, but it was Mercedes arriving in a lowrider.
Yes, this ridiculousness
yes.
was awesome too, because she's doing the Jerry Lawler convertible thing where she's in the back and she's just holding up this title.
Yeah.
And then this car comes to a stop.
I think there were 3 titles she was holding up.
but still, this car is no longer driving.
Correct.
It is not pulling into any parking lot of any kind.
Correct.
And she's just in the back on the seat, just holding up this title still, not making a move because they haven't told her cut.
My favorite part about this was
absolutely stupid, and I loved it.
My favorite part of this was, so they stop, and you think, okay, she's going to get out and she's going to go into the building. Nope, she just stands there, holds her belt up.
Yes.
The driver of the vehicle opens the door. He opens the door. So, okay, she's going to get out and follow him. Nope. He gets out. He has to walk around to the other side of the car. Oh, and keep in mind, this vehicle is topless.
Yes.
So she could have just climbed over the window. Like, it doesn't matter.
But she is still sitting. She is sitting on top of the back seat, and holding
she's also
this title
in the very middle. So she's no closer to the driver's side than the passenger side.
Correct.
But she has to wait for the driver to get out, walk around the car, open up the passenger side door, and then she gets out.
Paul, I am consistent on this. I love bad men doing bad things, tag team wrestling, and unrepentant stupidity.
Yes.
And the unrepentant stupidity of this past 20 minutes of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Oh God, it just warms the cockles of my cold, cynical heart. I love this.
And it kept going because because we got the ops. They come down to the ring, and you're like, oh, I wonder what they're out there for.
But they are not the story here.
No. So if you've been watching Ring of Honor, you will know that there's a group called the Frat House. Who are the Frat House, you might wonder? Well, they're obviously a big-time team because they got a 6-man title shot here. The Frat House is the former 10, Preston Vance, the former 2 Dimes, Cole Carter, and Griff Garrison, formerly one half of the... Who is he? He's partners with Brian Pillman. What were they called? Like
the Varsity Blondes.
The Varsity Blondes, yes. So a bunch of guys from failed tag teams with the former manager of the Iron Savages,
Jack Jameson. And how did they promote AEW?
They went to
Dynamite.
They went to a bar.
Last night they were at a bar in El Paso offering free drinks.
Yep, and they're basically doing a gimmick where they are hazing freshmen. And they've got, so what they do every week when they come out is they come out with a bunch of geeks like they had here, and they think they're going to be pledges in the group, but they beat them up, and then they wrestle their match. But in this case, these guys didn't get beat up, so they're chugging and they're drinking and blah blah blah. And I wish I had transcribed Jack Jameson's promo.
This promo was a thing of stupid, arrogant beauty.
Yeah.
So, and Joe is just loving every moment of it.
They kept cutting to Joe, and he was like,
he's corpsing,
trying to keep a straight face. Like,
he's fighting for his life, like Jey Uso in that Sami Zayn promo about feeling Lucy.
Yeah, that's a great call, because he gets in their face, and he's like, what? No matter what was his tagline, whatever,
something about fat chicks. And
he said something like, "No
win
matter
or
what,
lose, we still booze.
Win or lose, we still booze." These guys it's for Gronk.
I love them.
Is what they are.
I love this. I need more. I need stupid mid card heels in my life, and so I love this so much.
And then they had a match, and it actually, to be honest with you, it went longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
They even gave them, a couple spots, but eventually Joe, I think he choked out somebody. They brought in a paddle at one point. Hobbs hit him with it, and then Hobbs just pinned him with a spine buster. Yeah, Joe didn't even choke anybody out. He pinned Cole Carter.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I you know what? I every once in a while I see Cole Carter, and I hope that his contract's just gonna run out and he'll go back and he'll be in the family again. But I like this better.
This is the kind of match that the ops should be in.
Yes, every week.
Arrogant, stupid cockiness, running at the mouth, and just these guys who are quiet and angry, just destroy them.
They can do
nothing. This is greatness.
They can do this with varsity athletes next, or not? No, was it? Yeah, varsity athletes.
Varsity athletes could be this stupid, but they're not. They're still a little bit more. It's a little. Someone
have you seen them? They do this thing.
They
do this thing where Mark Sterling comes out and he's like, tells the crowd to athletes rule. You don't say anything else, and then he's like, athletes, and the fans go suck.
Chase U has a different vibe to it. Okay, it's a little. It's a little self-serious, a little bit, but I mean, it still had, I loved
this is more 3-man band.
Yes, this is. Oh, that's a good call too. 3-man band. We're just out here to party. It also just kind of leans into every stereotype about why guys like them got into wrestling back in the 80s.
Like this kind of gimmick could actually get them in trouble if they actually got a push. But as long as they're just geeks that get beat up, it's fine.
Yeah, if they're like roofing people and stuff like that, that's bad.
You remember when like Preston Vance turned on -1, and it was like this big serious angle that we were all there.
Yes, and -1 was crying, and
good times. This was awesome though. This was great. So then we go back to the ring. I think we went to a commercial and we come back, and Renee Paquette's in the ring. And she introduces Jamie Hayter. So she brings up that she lost at the pay-per-view.
She loses at the pay-per-view. Give it up, but she fought hard. Give it up for Jamie Hayter. I was just like, what? Yeah.
Then she asks her, like, okay, so what's next? Before she can say anything, the lights went out. And stupid me, every once in a while the lights go out, and I think, oh, there's going to be a debut. Oh, it's going to be a debut or something. And then, no, it's just, AEW's production screwed up. And so this time I actually thought AEW's production screwed up. And then when they come back on, there's a woman who I don't recognize in the ring. To be fair, they had a Contron video for her, and it was the Toxic Spider, Thekla. And she's in the ring, and she had attacked Hayter, and it appears she's doing like a Bray Wyatt gimmick. And the crowd did not react to her at all.
She's acting like a spider.
Yeah. So they didn't react, and then they were told that. Wait a minute, what is this? Did they say this on the crew, or did they tell us that she'd been fired from Stardom, or is that just
they said she came from Stardom? I don't know if they said she's fired, but you might be right. Yeah,
she's from Stardom, anyways.
They might be saying she was fired from Stardom because she's too uncontrollable, and
that's what I'm thinking.
But it's one of those things where, God, I feel bad for Jamie Hayter because she's going to be below like Statlander on the pecking order.
So, but you know what's weird about this? So Excalibur mentions we've seen
Okay, Lady B confirmed it for us.
Okay, they did say she was fired from her previous promotion.
And that was a story. And Transferring Heat then said it's a storyline from Stardom. Okay.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So they
thanks.
So they introduced this woman who I gotta think 99% of the people had no idea who she was.
No, Joshi fans know her. That's it.
Yeah. So I have no idea who she is. They told me that she's from Stardom. Great. They told me that we've seen the spider. I've noticed it, I think, once. I think it's been on like 4 times. I only noticed it once. It's very subtle. So you got to assume most people don't really know who she is. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe they could have done a video package. So what's the very next thing we saw? Do you remember?
Package.
4. Mystico, who's been on this show a dozen times. Why didn't they just air a video package of Thekla here?
Because they probably didn't have the rights to the Stardom footage.
They do. They show it all the time.
They do? Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, that's their partner.
I would have agreed. This would be the time. And here's more about her. Our production staff has just rushed a video.
Yeah. Well, no, they knew she was debuting. They've been showing this spider forever.
They turned the lights off for her. I forgot.
Yeah. So no, I mean, they should have we didn't need a mystical video package. We should have had. And so if your whole thing about we don't need more video package, blah, blah, I'm not asking for more. I'm just asking for a different one. Tell me something about this woman. Now you know what? I bet you anything on Saturday on Collision, they're probably going to air a Thekla video package.
Oh yeah, like an hour and a half into the show or something like that. Yeah.
They hate video packages, yeah, but they aired one there, Lady B.
Takes away from the banger minutes.
Yeah. They said she was fired because she attacked the owner. Maybe that's where Jack Perry is. Oh my God.
That's hold on. We need to talk about that then, because so she attacks the owner, attacks her boss.
Yeah.
And Tony thinks,
we haven't had a boss be attacked here in a while.
That doesn't sound like our company at all.
Yeah. Maybe Jack Perry's going to start him. Trade.
The long hair.
He's a pretty guy.
The skinny body.
Put on a mask. He could probably get by as a luchador.
Put a mask. What is wrong with you?
I don't know. You'd probably need a bodysuit too. All right, we got to get moving with this show.
He's their Jushin Thunder Liger. Yeah.
I guess the point of the video package was they're doing a show in Mexico in a few weeks, so they're trying to promote that. But I think a Thekla video package would have been just fine here. Next we got out of nowhere. I had no idea this was happening till they told me it was happening on this show. Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title. So this match was made because Adam Cole was pinned by Kyle Fletcher in that 6-man we talked about that was on Double or Nothing. So the first thing I noticed when these two guys got in the ring was there's a reason why UFC has weight classes.
Yes. Okay, good. Because if you had shown this, like if my brother, who is very lapsed, he'd watch this and go, one of those guys is a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
That other guy is like a Mulkey brother, right?
We used to see these matches all the time on TV, and we knew who was going to win. And it wasn't the short, scrawny guy with, a kind of a decent physique. It was the star who was twice his size and jacked to the gills. This was
this is Kevin Nash
they had a good
versus
match.
Dean Malenko. That's what this is.
Or Chris Jericho.
Size differential. Yeah.
Chris Jericho and Sid Vicious or something.
Yeah.
It was a good match. I mean, they had a good match, and the whole story of the match was Adam Cole kept trying to go for the sunrise and he couldn't hit it, and then finally did hit it. I gotta say, and I don't think I've mentioned this yet at all. The crowd was like super hot for this, and they were like really hot all night. Like this was a great crowd in El Paso.
Kyle Fletcher has a receipt coming though.
Oh yeah, probably.
That power bomb on the edge of the ring.
If Adam Cole has a concussion, I won't be shocked. Like that.
I thought he had a concussion right there. I thought that was the end of the match.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. 1, 2, 3 Kid and Scott Hall. That's what this was. Except Adam Cole is known, but I mean, other than that, it was just
Fletcher's
as
much
ridiculous.
better than Scott Hall at that point, but yes.
True, yeah. So Adam Cole hits his Panama Sunrise finally. Fletcher went for a brainbuster. Cole countered it into a last shot, and then another Panama Sunrise. And then he lowered the knee. He was going to go for the boom, but out of nowhere comes in Josh Alexander, attacks him, and they have a DQ. And
this was fun too. I enjoyed watching Josh Alexander fight as opposed to wrestle. I liked that.
Yeah, and he's like a big dude. And
he's bigger than you think, but it's weird in this Callis family. He's the small guy.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I guess Rocky technically, but he's just like the multi guy that takes pins. So Brody King makes a save, which is convenient because they had a match scheduled, and they point out that they're not supposed to wrestle till later on tonight, and then it's like, well, there's no other matches scheduled,
and now it's later on tonight, and this is for the right to lose that 4-way because whoever was going to win this was going to take the fall in that,
unless Commander beats Claudio again, which is possible.
No, Commander will be in that match. He just won't take the fall. I think Brody King's taking this fall because we're in this season where we get to heat up Brody King again, make us think he's something.
Brody King, he looks awesome in these qualifiers, and then he loses the match.
Yes.
Well, you don't think he's gonna beat Kenny?
I don't know. It's been a surprising week of upsets in some ways. Maybe they'll try
my most like when I saw JC Jane pin Stephanie Vacour, I had no idea. Like I was watching almost live and I was like, what? Like I had the same, my reaction was the exact same as the ring announcer, whatever his name is. They showed him at ringside and he was like, huh?
But that's it. Okay, look, this the best thing about this match, because it just kind of went on for me. Yeah. And I like both guys, and I especially
are we into King and Alexander now, or are you still talking about
Kyle? No,
okay,
I'm in King and Alexander territory now.
Yeah.
Was Don Callis explaining about Josh Alexander's strategy in taking on guys that are bigger than him. And I thought, God, that's so great. It's like he's not scared of him because he knows he's more technically proficient. I'm like, that's how you get this guy over.
Yep.
As part of the Callis family. I absolutely adored that part of commentary.
Yeah,
usually it's about
good.
Usually it's about Taz and
Taz dialed it back
going
a bit
back
tonight.
and forth. Yeah, because he was
a
little bit too much on the pay-per-view. So
yeah,
he was about that.
Well, it got, as it was getting late, I think he was getting tired. But yeah, they just had a killer match. Now, the one thing about this, and it's funny because I looked it up because I remember they had a match already once before, and they went to a 15-minute draw. Did the commentators even mention that once?
No,
I didn't think so. Okay, so it wasn't just me missing it. And I thought that would have been a good thing to play up as the match was going on. That, and in fact, I actually thought maybe.
When was that match?
It was on Collision about a month ago.
Oh,
yeah, they went to it was weird because they went to a 15-minute draw, and I don't remember the last time there was a match with a 15-minute time limit. And there's just out of nowhere, Justin Roberts is like 1 minute left in this match, or whoever it might have been that Arcady girl. And then it was like, oh yeah, so they, for whatever reason, they had a 15-minute match. But yeah, I thought maybe they were going to go to another draw here, but nope. They just had a war. Josh Alexander got busted open. Might have been legit.
It was on the belly to back, and I think his head, or Brody's head hit his head and busted him open. I think. Yeah,
it was. It was a bad landing. It was either his head or maybe even his knee that hit him. And then Alexander went up to the top for a moonsault. King got his knees up, hit a King Kong lariat. Then he hit this freaking Gonzo bomb where like it looked like a shoot. It was like a half power bomb, half pile driver. And Josh Alexander sold it like he was dead. He stayed in the ring for, some guys will kick up at 4. I don't think he would have kicked up after 4 minutes. Like Taz was even like concerned, like, do we need a doctor out here? Like, yeah, he sold it. He sold it great. He said he looked like he got hit in the face with a bowling ball. It was just, it was brutal, but it was awesome. Brody King looked like a killer. It's really good. They should do more with that dude. But.
Yeah, they gotta get him out of this Buddy Matthews stable.
Oh,
that too.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Perhaps.
He'd be a freaking like in Japan. Oh my God, he could be a world champion over there in 1986.
Arcady is on these shows and they don't show her anymore, and I forgot what she looked like, and I'm like, oh, okay.
She looks like Alicia Toot.
No, she's better looking than Alicia, but that's
But they
okay.
look the same. It's the same look.
No, I get it. Yes, they are the
Yeah.
same type, and that's
Yeah.
what's so weird too. It's like, okay,
It's like
just
thinking,
hire your friend Charlie.
there you go. Oh God, she'd be great on this show. So then they go backstage. Kyle Fletcher's cutting a promo, says he doesn't need anyone's help from Adam Cole tonight. So or to beat Adam Cole. So maybe like a little bit of a tease that he's not happy with the Callis family. And Adam Cole shows up, they brawl, and Adam Cole threatened to kill him. Use those exact words. I'll kill you. So I assume they're gonna have a rematch at some point. I don't know why, but I assume they will. I saw somebody say that this finish built to a rematch. I don't Cole was about to hit a finisher. Alexander saved Kyle and got him DQ'd. And that gets you to a rematch? Okay, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. Does Josh Alexander ever win? Brody never wins and still beat him.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I think he won once.
I think he beat like
Josh
a
Alexander
or
did.
something.
Yeah, he beat a lucha guy.
Yeah. I mean,
Probably Commander.
He's the fourth guy in his stable. I mean, what are you gonna do? Maybe the third. No, fourth probably. Yeah, I don't know. It was some point during this match that it dawned on me that the main event of the show was going to be the face-to-face with Toni Storm and Mercedes, and I thought, man, you know what? They really haven't pushed this enough. But at some point during the match, they did say we've taken our last commercial break and stay tuned because we're going to see the AEW Women's World Champion and the CEO, and so they did mention it. I thought they could have pushed it a little harder throughout the night, but better. I'll take it. And at least they didn't go to a commercial, like at the top of the hour and then come back for this. So I think that they probably will have retained their audience for this, which is what I was hoping, because this is it's a big thing. I think that by the time we get here, and I've said this before, and I'm probably wrong, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of people wanting this match to main event All Out or All In.
Yes, and it's going to be the people with the agenda mostly, but yes.
Well, I mean, yes and no.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, but I also say, like, I don't think you can honestly look at the storylines and say it feels like a bigger match than Moxley and Hangman.
No, it's not.
Yeah, like if it wasn't, like if it was any other match, like if it was just a random Jon Moxley title defense, then you could say, yeah, this could be the main event. But I can't see it being the main event.
And also, for my money, the wrong person's going to win this match.
You think it's going to be Tony?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. You might be right. I don't really know. Like, I'm not even sure what the right choice is. But
well, I mean, I said this on the pay-per-view post show, and I still mean it. They should have built this company around Mercedes. They really should have. She is that good in every match she does. She's great on media. She could be the breakout star. People know who she is from the other company, and I get that that's a knock for some.
So you mean
people.
The whole company? You don't just mean the women's division?
I meant AEW. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
Because they haven't had a breakout star yet.
And I mean, your template is honestly, it's almost like NXT, although this week is different and probably not anymore. But how they've been building around Stephanie Vaquer for the last 4 months.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you can build around a woman. You really can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah. And Mercedes is the one. I mean, if you build around Timeless,
they built WWE around Becky for a short time. So yeah.
Yeah. The problem, if you build around Timeless Tony, you're kind of telling people, okay, our company is a bit of a joke, but
yes, but it's also one of those things where,
and I don't mean in terms of quality. I just mean like,
no, I get that,
yeah.
but yes, it's one of those things where you put that Timeless character, on a morning show or something like that. It becomes like Rick Rude on Kathy Lee and Regis or something like that. Or Macho Man on Arsenio. It becomes kind of like, all right, we all know. I mean, like the host is kind of like, why am I interviewing this idiot, instead of kind of taking it seriously,
or they play into the joke. You can do that too. Like I can see Fallon, starting to act like he's, like Monkowitz or whatever, and they're gonna go back and forth. Like, he'll play into the gimmick, but it's still like it's a gimmick. Whereas Mercedes has that real world sports star athlete persona that that's her persona, you know.
Yeah,
So,
but to the AEW faithful, to the
yeah.
tribalists,
Mm-hmm.
she is not a WWE person. She is a person who was scorned by WWE, and I've been over
Yeah.
that story because I knew
Mm-hmm.
Tony's writer,
Mm-hmm.
and who was mistreated by that company. Who is now she's an AEW person because this character is AEW. Mercedes is still WWE. And
Okay.
that's why they won't. That's why both the fan base nor Tony will have her win this match, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. But they did a promo, and I will say, Tony was so Mercedes came out first. She talked about how much it meant to her to win the Owen, and she talked about Owen Hart. She talked about her idol Eddie, but they don't compare to me. And then that's why I'm the CEO. And then she gets cut off by Timeless Tony. She makes her way to the ring, sends Lucha to the back, and they went on, and Monet said the fans are sick of black and white. We want a champion full of color. Storm said she's waited very long 441 days. You came in on a show named after you. Since then, you won titles, you made history. You're still unbeaten, but you've never once looked at me or even spoken to me. And you claim to have been watching me since before you came here. You told Anthony Khan it's the one match you wanted to have. What took you so long? And Monet said, patience, darling, patience. It's not about you. It's about my legacy. I'm the Beyonce of professional wrestling. I'm the conversation, the blueprint, the revolution. And Tony says, yeah, well, I'm the Toni Storm of professional wrestling. That got a great pop. And you've never met anyone like me. And she says, yeah, that's right. You're not the tiny, shy, nervous girl I met 10 years ago. You're very different. But so am I. I'm no longer a boss. I'm a CEO. I've been the best of the world all over. I've been beating people, Japan, Mexico, right here in AEW. England. I'm bringing the AEW World Title home. We're going to have the greatest women's match of all time.
That one I just kind of went.
Yeah,
okay.
I wish it was more about the belt than having the best match, but whatever. They can't help themselves.
Yeah, both you and I don't like those things, but continue.
Yeah. Tony mentioned we have a lot of similarities. We left certain success behind because we realized it wasn't enough. We followed our hearts to AEW, becoming exactly who we're meant to be, but there's one difference. You want all the titles.
By the way, more corporate fealty, but continue.
Yeah, well, it gets better. You want all the titles. I need only one. So this is like exactly what Hangman and
no,
I
liked the difference in this though.
Okay,
it's you need all those titles. I just need this one title. I liked that kind of.
That's fair, yeah. And she says, I've lived, I've cried, I've bled, and I've even died for this. The fans chanted something there. I don't know what it was, but then eventually it just morphed into a Tony chant. Then she said, if you want to ride the money train through the Tony tunnel, I hope you can get deep enough. And then she had a line that I'm sure the internet is going to treat her very normally about. She says, not even your hips are deep enough for the money train. And people aren't going to like that line, but whatever. It was a good line. She said 45 days from now, we're going to meet in Texas, and somewhere in the world, a little girl with big dreams will be watching and say, holy shit, these bitches are crazy. And I'm thinking, that little girl's going to get grounded and she's never going to be able to watch AEW again.
Where'd you learn that word? I'm watching wrestling, mommy.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're watching WWE now. She sincerely believes you're the greatest of all time, but unfortunately for you, Toni Storm happens to be timeless. And then Monet said, you might be timeless, but your time's coming to an end. It all in. She said, I'll see you there, darling. She offered her a handshake, and then Tony was going to accept it. Monet tried to pull her in. Storm smelled her, kissed her hand. Then Monet tried to hit her with a moneymaker. Storm avoided it, tried to hit a Storm Zero, and Monet bails. And then
they had a dance, and then they had a dance off.
Yeah, a little bit. Monet did her dance, and Tony writhed around in the ring, and yeah, it was fine. People love it. It's fine.
Reminded me of the Jay Lethal Ric Flair thing. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I was like, all right.
Yeah. That wasn't for the world title either, was it? Collision, we got 4 matches announced. Hechicero, Mascara, Dorada. Winner gets into the 4-way next week. Claudio and Commander. Winner gets in the 4-way. Mina Shirakawa and Sky Blue. RPG Vice and Konosuke Takeshita against Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tomohiro Ishii. Oh, I forgot something from the pay-per-view. The Paragon match. So after the match, the baby faces lose. Don Callis family, bunch of them come down to the ring and show up. And then who should make the save? But it was Tomohiro Ishii and
the ghost
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yes.
Like, what? Just randomly shows up to make a save in the middle of the co-main event, which was basically the Divas match. It was the intermission. It was go get a drink and come back for the main event. And Tanahashi is there, the president of New Japan, in the middle of the Best of the Super Juniors, comes over here for some reason. I was like, did I dream this? It was weird, but he's not in this match. He left Ishii here. Maybe he flew him over and then went back. I don't know. But yeah, so it's going to be a 6-man, and they're taping that tonight, probably right now. And then next week, all we got is the 4-way for the international title. That's all that's announced for Dynamite next week. So yeah, that was the show. I didn't give you any chance to say anything about that promo segment. Anything you want to add?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I said everything I was gonna say. I thought it started good, and then again, Tony's kind of character, I don't know. It's one of those weird things where I'm just like, okay, they're both so deep into character. You're it's almost kind of like, all right, but I want something real out of this feud, Well,
we got 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So is it more likely we're going to get more real, or are we just going
to... No. Mercedes is a tremendous flaky heel, and she's great at it. Tony is kind of a product of the audience, to me, a little bit.
They love it, so
yes.
I mean, it works for the audience. I'm not sure if it draws money, but
no,
I'm not sure that
she's
going to get
she's going to get the win, so I think
probably. But I mean, I think Hangman Mox has to be the main event of that show. Probably kick it off with Mercedes and Tony would be my guess. That's the second best spot to be in.
It's
probably.
all in Texas, yes. And if you're crowning the Hangman, the cowboy, yes, it needs to be the main event.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was it. You know what? I want to say, like, I was kind of down when our show started, but I felt a lot better about Dynamite. I don't know how people felt about my review of it, but I had fun reviewing it. And I think it was a better show when I reviewed it than it was when I was watching it. So that's good.
That happens. Yeah.
That does happen. Yeah. And the pay-per-view is the pay-per-view. I'm getting to the point though, man, where I may just decide, maybe I'll skip this one. Like if we didn't have this show, because for some reason I thought you might, and we got to talk about this too. I thought you might not be here because I remember you saying you were going to be missing a show.
I am on vacation next week. I am going to be drinking beer, eating meat and cheese, and riding water slides in Wisconsin. And I'm not taking my podcasting gear with me. So.
All right. And it's a 4-hour show as well. So I have no idea how I would even cover it because I don't want to recap a 4-hour show at midnight, but I also don't want to be recapping a 2-hour Dynamite while Collision
when it's going on. Right.
So Garrett and I talked. We may do a show Thursday afternoon, just me and Garrett, a quick show, or I may just take the week off. Let me know. I will let you all know on Twitter. Jeff and I are going to be doing an extra show anyways at some point in the next. And there we go. John skipping the show anyways.
Give this one to Kevin Ely and whoever wants it.
Yeah, the problem is,
although Kevin Ely ain't staying up till midnight watching wrestling.
Well, that's just it. Who's gonna watch? So, I think the Thursday afternoon thing is a good idea, but or just not doing a show because we're gonna do an extra show at some point. DJ Cass, if you're listening, if you come listen to this later, let us know what show you want us to review. We're gonna watch one. I've been doing a rewatch. I watched the first episode and I'm like almost done the second episode, and just for my own whenever I have free time, which is like never, but when I do. It's funny because on the second show, the main event was Sammy Guevara against Dustin Rhodes. And now they're tag team partners. So we will be back in 2 weeks, the two of us. I may or may not be back next week. And Jeff, are you going to be back on Shake Them Ropes this week?
I will this week, and then the next week will be late after all the festivities, probably on a Sunday. But this week, a lot to talk about. Yes, there's a new NXT Women's Champion. There's a new NXT North American Champion. John Laurinaitis has been dropped from the Janelle Grant lawsuit.
Yeah.
Ice cold takes from Nove on Double or Nothing and Battleground, and then Invader
He's a witness
Club.
for the state, right? Or
For the plaintiff.
wow. Okay.
And then Invader Club from 1983, Wahoo McDaniel versus Nick Bockwinkel in a fun one. So
I might have saw that. that was my wheelhouse. I was 12 years old watching every Saturday night. So
the promo and if you watch the promos beforehand where Bockwinkel's basically calling him obese. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that'll drop probably Friday night, Saturday morning, as I'm on a plane on Saturday. So hope Nove doesn't tell me he has to record on Saturday, because then we might be SOL. But that should be in your podcast feeds later.
The term "fat lazy Indian" may have been used. Keep in mind it was the early 80s.
It was 1983.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But that got a lot of heat in Winnipeg, which is like 40% native. So, but if you feel bad about that, watch Bockwinkel actually talk about Wahoo and how much love he had for Wahoo McDaniel, and then you'll be over it. And Wahoo's probably the one that wrote the line for him. And I'll be here next Monday with Garrett. We do like a new show. It's called The Takedown, where we just have hot takes. And this past week, Garrett's was that John Cena needs to end this title reign yesterday. So, and mine was Kevin Knight's a future star. So real hot takes there. So for Jeff Hawkins, I've been Paul Fontaine, and this has been the Dynamite Show.